Okay, so we will start with units and measurement. That is the first chapter that we should start. So here we are going to talk about not the basics, because basics are already we are already aware about the basics. Like if I say meters, this makes sense. It makes us understand that we are talking about the length. If I just say 2, let us say I have measured something and I have reported you the value 2. Now it does not make any sense because I am not sure what quantity this is. Okay, if I have measured this, I would be knowing that this is the length or temperature. But if I say you that I have measured just the pen, I have measured the pen and this is my value. Now this complete scenario does not have any sense because one, I am not mentioning the unit, or nor I am telling like what quantity I am measuring. So here first we will see that what is a quantity. Quantity means it can be anything, like it can be a length, it can be temperature, even this quantity can be happiness, or this quantity can be emotion. So we are only going to deal with physical quantities. Physical quantity. So now what is a physical quantity? How do we define it? These are those quantities which can be, so quantities that can be measured. So if I am able to measure any quantity given to me, then that is a physical quantity. For example, I can of course measure length, and we have even a specialized instrument to measure physical quantities. But definitely extent of happiness or emotion cannot be determined, or it cannot be measured exactly. Yes, we can say a person is more happy or less happy, but we cannot identify actually, we cannot compare the happiness. So we are going to talk about the physical quantities. And here, if we talk about physical quantities, these are of two types: scalars and vectors. Any physical quantity may be either scalar quantity or a vector quantity. Now, what is scalar quantity? That is very basic thing we have already learned in the previous years. Those quantities which have magnitude. So examples can be like speed, or it can be distance, it can be temperature, etc. But vector quantities, in addition to the magnitude, they have direction also associated to them. For example, velocity, displacement, which we will discuss in motion unit. So here, if I talk about any physical quantity, there is a very great need to measure the physical quantities. Like if I have a pen, I want to measure the dimension of the pen. So everything, in fact all the experiment requires any kind of measurement. And if we are measuring anything, that measurement will have two things: one, a numerical value, and number two, unit. Now both these are important: numerical value and unit. So we will remember them. Any kind of measurement has two units: numerical value and the unit. So we will also talk about, if we are doing any kind of measurement, what are the possibilities of errors and how we can finally compute the errors in a measurement. Okay, the next thing is we will talk about any quantity that we have. Any quantity that can be either a fundamental quantity or a derived quantity. So what are fundamental or derived quantities? So these are the two types of quantities. So for example, let us say force. Now I can write force in terms of other basic quantities, like I can express force in terms of mass, I can express in terms of acceleration. But you can look over here, can we express mass in terms of any other quantity? Answer is no. If you look at acceleration, here I can express acceleration in terms of velocity by time. In fact, the change in velocity by time. I can also express change in velocity as change in displacement over time. But here we can observe that the mass and time and even this displacement, I cannot express them into any other quantity. So these are basic. But if we talk about the forces, that is a kind of derived quantity. Means that derived quantities are those quantities which can be derived from fundamental quantities, right? Only two quantities we have, fundamental and derived quantities. I can derive derived quantity or a quantity by combining fundamental quantities. So fundamental quantity combines and it gives derived quantity. So there are 7 fundamental quantities which we have to remember. Talking about the number of derived quantity, there are many derived quantities. You can say force, you can say velocity, acceleration, work, energy, all these are derived quantities. So let us list down the 7 fundamental quantities which we have to remember. Number 1, mass, length, time, temperature, current, amount of substance, and finally moles. Okay, so if you look at the quantities, you can observe I have mentioned here the quantities. Which quantities? Fundamental quantities. Now every quantity will have some units, right? Because we have seen this at first. Quantity will have, we can measure quantity means that it will have numerical value as well as it will have some unit. So those units which belong to fundamental quantities, they are called fundamental units. So fundamental unit of mass, it is kg. For length, it is meter. Time, it is second. Temperature, Kelvin. Current, ampere. Amount of substance, moles. And number 7, luminous intensity. This is luminous intensity. Although we don't need to discuss much about luminous intensity, but we will have a rough idea about what is the fundamental unit of this luminous intensity, that is called candela. So you will learn in a very higher class what is this candela and how it is used. So as we have described a quantity into two types, fundamental and derived quantity, similarly units can also be derived into two forms. One, fundamental unit, and derived units. So as we have written here, fundamental units. Now we know that fundamental quantities will combine to make derived quantity. In the same manner, fundamental units will combine to form derived units. They will combine to form derived units. And let us just mention one or two examples of derived units, like force, that's quantity, unit is Newton. Work, unit is joules, or even Pascal, even Coulomb. You can see Coulomb is the SI unit of charge, but this Coulomb is not categorized under fundamental quantities. If I have to express Coulomb in terms of fundamental units, then I'll have to use some expression which relate Coulomb with the fundamental quantity current. right? Okay. So if we talk about, let us say for example Newton, that is one of the derived unit. If I want to express Newton or any derived unit in terms of fundamental unit, first I'll have to know any basic expression of this, of the quantity whose unit is this derived unit. So if we talk about Newton, Newton is the unit of force. So first we will bring any basic formula of force, any formula that can be. This can be rate of change of momentum, or this can be F is equal to ma, or F is equal to P into A, any formula. So let us say I randomly take the formula F is equal to ma. So we will keep breaking this into the simplest form. So mass into acceleration I can write v by t. I'll not write the actual formula because here we are just about to explore the units. Velocity I can write displacement by time. So it becomes ms by t square. Now you can see force is ms by t square roughly in terms of unit. I have equated. So I can write the units now. Unit of force is Newton. Unit of mass is kg. Unit of distance, that is I should see length, that is meter, and by time square, that means second square. So from here we are confirmed that 1 Newton is 1 kilogram meter per second square. So in this manner I have expressed a derived unit in terms of fundamental units. So every derived unit will be a combination of fundamental units. Now you can see it's not only this thing where we will end, because in the previous years, previous classes also we have been knowing that 1 Newton is 1 kilogram meter per second square. But this will help us to explore the dimensional analysis. So what is dimensional analysis? Here we work based on dimension. So to understand dimensional analysis, let us first understand what is a dimension. You can say this is just the power of a quantity. Now let us see an example to understand what a dimension is actually. So here we have expressed Newton as kilogram meter per second square. So Newton is the SI unit of force. So observe, I am writing quantity now. From the units I am writing quantity. So kg is the unit of mass. I denote using capital M. Meter is the unit of length because I'll take this from this table which we have discussed. And second is the unit of time, so I'll write t to power minus 2. So this is what we call it as dimension, that is enclosed within square bracket. So this dimension gives us the idea that how a physical quantity which is derived depends on the fundamental quantity. So you can see we can work in either way. First we explored using expression. We found how a derived unit can be expressed in terms of fundamental units, and then how a derived quantity is expressed in terms of fundamental or basic quantity, right? So I'll write here fundamental or basic unit. We can also say here fundamental or basic quantity. So I'll modify the table here only. Talking about fundamental quantity, how will I represent that? I cannot keep writing mass into length like this big expression. So I'll use certain symbols for representing fundamental quantities. Mass by m, length by L, T for time, and for temperature I'll use K, current I'll use A, and then for amount of substance I'll write this only, MOL, and luminous intensity candela CD, like this only. But this is rarely used, we will not talk about this. Okay, and so this becomes the dimension of force. This is the dimension of force.